Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you, wherever you are. And welcome to the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. This morning, we are going to talk about blog styles. And Alanna Birmingham has promised to share what she knows about that. So, welcome here. And as usual, I like to give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. So I will change over to gallery view and invite who to. Maybe Alanna, you would like to go first. That way, unless you had decided to introduce yourself in your presentation.
Yeah, I can do that at the end. I'm good with that.
Oh, okay. So David, go ahead.
I should say, well, maybe it should be Vivek or Fred. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, I'm Dave Flannery with Affordable Websites for Small Businesses here in Rock Falls, Illinois, where the weather has changed. We are having a comfortable 82-degree day today, Fahrenheit, and it's right now about 72 degrees outside, which is very comfortable. We've been hot and humid for the last couple of weeks. Right now, we're broadcasting on YouTube and the website quite fine, and I'm monitoring chat as we go along. Back to you, LowellAnn.
Right on. Okay, Vivek, you were next.
Namaste. My name is Vivek Anand. People call me Vivek. I believe in simple life. I believe in doing things differently. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. So I bring years of experience, knowledge, wisdom, whatever you want to call it, together with the technology, which is simple, to make your life easy. So presently I am in Reading, United Kingdom. The temperature has been really good. It's outside it is 26 degrees, I think, which is 80, around more than 80, 82, 83 Fahrenheit. So sunny day, but I am inside since morning, so I haven't really gone anywhere. So
Right on. And you are getting ready for your yoga session on Sunday.
yeah, I am. And it's going to be a good experience for myself and hopefully for everyone else who joins.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be in the evening, about the same time. Yeah, 5 o'clock. It's 5:03 now, so it will be 5 o'clock on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Which is 9 o'clock
UK time.
Pacific. 9 o'clock Pacific time.
And the participants are supposed to be coming with the nearly hungry stomach because they are supposed to do a couple of exercises and you won't do them with a full stomach. So before heading for your dinner probably is the right time. So,
or breakfast.
Yeah.
Right
hungry.
on.
You should be hungry. Empty stomach, essentially.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to that. And of course, while we're at it, Vivek is going to, next week's Success Circle, he's going to talk about his whole experience of putting all that together, etc., and give us some sense of some of the symbolic meanings and so forth. So that's what next week will be. So right on. So Fred, you were next.
Thank you, LowellAnn. I'm Fred Jones, the creator of Our Future Leaders, where we assist young people to gain communication and leadership skills so they can become the leaders that our world needs. I'm located in Langford, which is Jay's stomping ground, and close to LowellAnn in Victoria on Vancouver Island on the west coast of Canada. It says it's 13 degrees centigrade. It's not that warm, which I believe is around 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're having, I don't know, not warm days anyway.
They've been referring it to it on the radio as January. Oh, Fred, you've gone silent. Oh, now you are really silent. Okay. So Javita, how are things with you? We haven't seen you for a while.
Thank you, LowellAnn, and hello everyone. I'm really happy to be a part of this group, and yeah, I'm from Mumbai, and here it's raining, and it's a very pleasant atmosphere here, and I hope you are seeing my new logo behind me, and I would like to your opinion or your feedback. Alanna, what do you think about it?
I think it's very pretty. It's very pretty
thank you.
indeed.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right on. So now Alanna. Alanna has offered to share some things that she knows about blog styles this morning. So, oh, Fred.
I think it was Dave that's got his hand up.
David.
You're gonna make Fred mad calling me Fred.
My brain just pulled a fast one on me.
Oh, you need to introduce yourself first.
Right. Oh, thank you for the reminder. I'm so busy thinking about what everybody else is doing. Well, let's see. What can I tell you about what I'm doing? Well, I've been uploading and doing things for a local customer here, a care center that I manage a website for. And I've been really busy changing and reducing the size of all the images on all of my websites. I have two of the websites I've done. I have them done. I have two more to do. And I really would like to, I'm sure we talked about this recently, but I really want to let everybody know that there is a wonderful app. It's an app for your computer. It's not a telephone app, but it's called Cassium, and it just saves so much work. You can just drag and drop an image in there, all in one place. You can change the size, the dimensions of it, and you can reduce the size of the file, and then just save it. It is a godsend. So we did talk about this recently, about the fact that we are going to need to take care of the speed at which our images fall. So so that's one of the things that I've been doing. Yeah, I think that's enough of an introduction today. So we lost Javita. I think there's a note in there that says something. She says she'll be back in a few minutes, so something's going on for her. Well, my answer to that is life and work happens, life and business happens, but so does Microsoft updates. So That's what happened to me early this morning, and it made it so that I could not adjust my webcam in the way that I usually do. So more about that sometime later. So life and work. Okay, now you can have the conch, Alanna.
Thank you very much, LowellAnn. My name is Alanna, coming to you from Ireland. My company is ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, where I write copy and content for businesses so they can increase conversions and sales. I've been writing blog posts for 10 years at least. Most of them have been for myself, and in the last 4 years, I've been writing for clients. And in the last year, I have taken a copywriting course to increase my skill level. But today, what we're going to talk about are blog styles, and there are a lot of them. There's plenty of them, and I'm just going to cover 4 or 5 of them. And I'm going to cover some examples. But the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about is why you're going to write a blog in the first place. And the main reason to write a blog is because you have something you want to say to your audience and your visitors. And so for me, I always start with the end in mind. So I think, okay, what do I want my visitors or my clients' visitors to know about this product or service? And then I build on it from there. So, and then depending on what type of post I'm supposed to write, I'll decide on what type of post I'm going to write. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see if I can get this going without making a mistake. Hang on one sec. Let me go over here, and I'm going to go over here. Okay. So I need to share my screen, and it's going to be this one. Okay. So.
Ooh, it shows up really well.
Okay, good. So everybody can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm nervous about this because last time I did a slide presentation, things went a little belly up for me. So hopefully I don't know what happens when I click. So I'm just going to click on this for the next slide. Okay, so here are a few of the most common blog styles. So there's information, reviews, listicles, how-tos, and pillar posts. I'm going to throw in another one at the very end of this, but what I need to do there is on the next screen, we're going to talk about all these different blog styles. And on the next screen, I'm going to give you information on the first one. So informational blog posts are written to provide information on a particular subject. And they typically have references to many different sources. So if you've ever been into Wikipedia for anything, you'll notice that there are tons and tons of links there. So that's a good example of an informational blog post. So the next one, what I think the best idea here is, so I don't have to keep going in and out of the slide presentation, I'll present the slide presentation and then I'll go through the examples that I have set up in my tabs. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure.
Because I just think that way I won't be jumping back and forth.
And Alanna, before you go any further, I just want to compliment you on your logo down in the right-hand corner. It looks really, really nice.
Oh, thank you so much. I had that designed for me, and the girl who did it was a graphic design student, and she was a friend of my daughter's. And so that's her line of work, and she does this type of thing. So I gave her some work and she gave me a lovely product. So there you go.
Right. Looks really nice.
Yeah, thanks. She did a really good job. I'm not sure I'm going to keep the Goldie color. I might swap that out. I'm not really happy with that color, I don't think, but that's a conversation for another day, I guess. All right, so review posts. So review posts are the ones I've done quite a few of, and they contain usually a description of the product or service, sometimes background on the company and who benefits from the product, pros and cons, and special features. And if it's an affiliate blog post, they'll contain a link to purchase the product. So examples would be book reviews, colleges reviews, services, products. So like I said, those can usually run to be about 1,000 words, sometimes less, but blog posts in general should at least be 500 and up for your content there. So the next one are how-tos. Personally, I love how-tos. They're my favorite. They explain how to do something step by step. They can be very long and sometimes very complicated. They are similar. Listicles and listicles is the next one, and they're similar to how-tos in that they both kind of outline or list ways to do something. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm missing a slide again. I think this happened last time. Oh geez. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm missing a slide.
Try going back once and see if it's
Let me go. Let's see if I can go back one. Oh boy. Pillar post. There we go. So this is exactly what happened to me last time, and I freaked out. I'm not freaking out. Okay. Oh no, wait.
Don't freak out.
Okay, so how-tos. There's the listicles. Okay. So listicles are also called list posts, and they're very I can't see my own writing here. They're designed to be easy to digest, and this is so visitors, when they land on them, can basically scan them and read what's most appropriate to them. So they're kind of a very popular type of post for people. Let's see if I can make this work. Okay, I did how-tos. Pillar posts. Okay, so these posts contain a lot of useful and actionable information, and they have lots of images, videos, and links to support the points that are being made, and they tend to be evergreen and they stay relevant for quite some time. So I'm going to provide examples of all of these, and then we can go to questions and answers. Okay. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, so let me go here. So this is an example of an informational blog post. It's not even a blog post, it's Wikipedia. So it's, you know, it's a proper page with tons of information. And I just grabbed this one, Browser Wars. Everything in here that's blue is a link. So it gives you additional information. So that would be a great example of an informational blog post. Now, don't kill me for this one. I had to throw, I couldn't find a review post. I was kind of in a hurry, and so I just threw out my own. I'm throwing out my own.
It's quite all right and quite legitimate, Alanna.
Okay, so this is my review. This is a review post of a product called Constant Content, and what these normally contain is a description of the product, how you get started. Because it's a service, it's a product, but it's a service as well. So you can do more information here. So I describe how it works, how you get paid, what works well, what doesn't work so well. So that would be comparable to pros and cons. Right. And additional information such as how to price your work, catalog submissions, and my conclusion and concerns. So that's an example of a review post. So let me just scroll over here. I have to move something. I have to move this over here. Okay, so next up, this is a listicle, 9 ways to find a new job. So the title itself gives away exactly what it does exactly what it says on the tin. So you know here you're going to find 9 ways to find a new job. So as soon as you start scrolling, you can see that the post is numbered. So you can, it's very easy to read. It's got great, you know, the fonts are a good size, so you can basically pick and choose. And you'll notice that it's not just a one line, a bullet line. There's actual information there. Additional paragraphs that are all broken up. And then it gives additional resources there that are related. So that would be an example of a listicle or a list post. Now for the how-to, this one I thought was a good one, step-by-step guide and a free post template. And this is from HubSpot. So this one here, being a how-to, it starts with what is a blog post, and then further down it will outline what makes a good blog post, how to write a blog post. So it actually starts to tell you how to do that with all the steps involved there. So you can see that it's not just bullet points, it's quite a bit of information there. So that would be an example of a how-to. And next up is, which one is this one now? This one is the digital marketer one, which is a pillar post. Excuse me. So this is a pillar post, and it's really, really, really long. You'll see that it's been shared 817 times. And this information tends to be evergreen. So the subject matter is 101 best email subject lines. So this post actually covers a few different post types because it's a listicle, it's a pillar post, and it's, I think it's even a how-to.
All in
So I
one.
can get further
Yeah.
down. So it's quite, and you'll see it's got quite, and here it is, how to keep up with the digital marketing. So this is, it's actually a very long post. So that's an example of a pillar post, excuse me. And now last up is pillar post examples. So I thought this might be good to show you guys too, that there's actually 3 different types of pillar posts. So it tells you here what the page types are. So there's 10x content, resource pillar posts, and product or service pillar posts. Now, I have not written anything quite this long, like these pillar posts would tend to be in, say, the 2,000 and up word content, word per post. So my posts tend to be, I think the longest post I ever wrote was about 3,000 words on multi-level marketing. But that's not really a pillar post. So that is an example of different types of pillar posts. So that concludes my demonstration. Any questions, anybody? Hi, Fred.
Still muted, Fred.
I can't hear you, Fred.
Takes me a while. I'm slow today, but I know I was muted.
You have gremlins in your computer today.
Yeah, even the internet keeps telling me it's acting up a bit. But I really want to know if you can maybe elaborate a little bit on where each one of those types could be appropriate. If there's any comments you have about that, like where would
well,
you
that's the beauty of that's the beauty of those types of posts, because they can be found in most any website. In fact, it's actually advisable to shake up your website and have different types of blog posts in it. So for my website, I have different types. I have listicles, I have how-tos, I have reviews, and it's good to kind of keep things as I think if you have too many review posts, let's say, that are back to back, my connection's unstable. If you have too many of the same types of posts back to back, I think it can, it probably isn't as interesting for the reader to read unless they happen to be looking for that information. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. In other words, mix it up. It's better.
Yeah, I think mixing it up is great for all
The
websites.
variety is good. So that's what makes this even more appropriate than the fact that you say, hey, mix it up a bit. Don't get stuck in one. There's a lot of other alternatives. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
So, Alanna, you're still sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stop the share.
There.
Okay, there we go.
I have to admit, I don't think I've ever heard that term before. Pillar post.
The pillar post, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure I've read some, but I was just not aware of that term.
See, I probably haven't read a lot of them. I've probably scanned a few of them because that's how I read online. I kind of scan for the information I'm looking for, and I probably have the attention span of a gnat. So that's how I go through the internet. I'm like picking and choosing what I need, and then I'm moving on. So looks like Jay joined us. Hi, Jay.
Alanna?
Yeah.
You were going to give us a surprise at the end. Did you do that?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. So this is something I thought of after I finished the slideshow, the slide presentation. And it's something that I don't think I've ever done before, but I think it'd be very curious to see what you guys think of this idea, is a comparison post where you have two products side by side and you compare them, and they can be with affiliate links or not. Simply a comparison post. I'm just wondering what everybody would think about that, and if people would be interested in that type of a post. And maybe I just invented a new post.
But some of the reviews are reviews of multiple products, and when they do that, they typically compare similar products which actually do the same thing, and then in the end they'll give you, this is our number one, this is our number two, and like that. So
yeah, you're right. They are out there. I think I was just thinking of two. I have seen posts that have like 3 or 4 or 5. I was just thinking of two.
One of the things I've been charged with in Tony and my adventures is that I'm supposed to come up with a slider that allows you to take different product, air fryers, for example, and put two of them together and be able to compare their stats. And then
the specs.
Their specs. Then you can flip that over to another similar type and just flip them over until you find what you're looking for.
Wow.
So it's a lot easier said than done.
I was going to say
a couple times.
I would like to hear how you're going to do that.
The problem I run into is keeping it all lined up.
Yeah.
So that because one will have 10 words for the spec and the other one only have 2. Well, that makes the tables shrink. Okay. And so now nothing's lined up, and getting that all to line up without putting in spaces and all that good stuff has been a challenge.
Dave, may I make a suggestion on that?
Yes, you may.
Forminator. So use Forminator and use a poll or quiz, actually would probably be a better one. Don't call it a quiz, but call it like a air fryer questionnaire, and have a bunch of questions based off of what they need. And then the score at the end of that quiz would be, they would be able to select a specific air fryer. So like, small family, I want lots of buttons, like, oh, well, you need this one. And then there's the link to affiliate link to purchase it.
Great idea. Right on. Any other observations or questions about blog types, blog styles?
Yes, I want to ask Jay a question because as you know, I have started a new e-commerce site. So I would like to ask him, means what should be the ratio? Because in most of the affiliate sites, we tend to write informative post and product reviews. And you always said that it should be in a equal ratio. So when you are working on an e-commerce site, uh, should there be a ratio, or should how should you write informative post and product reviews?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the ratio changes a little bit. Well, first off, an e-commerce post or an e-commerce website is very similar in terms of a website as an affiliate site, right? So affiliate sites and e-commerce sites are very similar. The thing that's different is that you're selling the product on your site versus sending them to Amazon or wherever to sell the product. So so just keep in mind that that's, you know, it's no different. But the informative posts and review posts, it's a little bit challenging to write a product review for your own products because obviously it's going to sound biased. So instead of writing review products reviews for your own products, have other people write reviews for your products, whether that be on the actual product page or have them write like a review somewhere else, and then focus solely on informational post or roundup review posts. So a roundup review would be kind of like best, I don't know, like best art for kids rooms, you know, it's kind of like that. And you list 3 or 4 different products that are related to your, you know, that you are selling. Say, well, okay, well, here's one that's green, here's one that's red, here's one that's, you know, and then you just link them to the product page. So, but like roundup reviews are also called, like, as what Alanna called listicles. They're also called, I like to call them buying guides, because essentially you're steering them in a direction that you want to, you know, you want them to buy a product, and they're like, well, here's the best for a small room, here's the best for a green room, here's the best one for, you know, a purple room, right? And and you go from there, and then do focus on informational. So you could do 50% informational and then 50% buying guides. But I would do more of a 75-25, meaning 75% informational and 25% more the buying guides.
Because you know there are many affiliate products that you can promote on this side also. Because you know when you are promoting e-commerce or creating e-commerce site, like for printables and plating, so there are many sites that provide mock-ups for the products. So I think that can be a post where we can do listicles, like 3 best mock-ups for the products, like something.
Yeah. In addition to that, you can have upsells within the product checkout. So if I buy a print, there could be a thing that says, hey, do you want to buy a frame with that? And then there's a link to the Amazon frame. You know, that's another option.
Yeah,
you can do. So.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Well, I think probably all of my blog posts have been listicles. Lists.
So can I just say a few words?
Sure.
So Alanna, great presentation. Love the logo.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was good. And you did very well. You weren't nervous at all.
Yeah, right.
No, you weren't. You were like, I honestly walking into this, because I you know, I've known you for X amount of years, and no, you did great. I think you did fantastic. I feel threatened. My job feels threatened.
Don't worry about it, Jay. I'm not quitting my day job.
Okay, so.
But Alanna, of all your clients, Is there one style that you think is more appropriate than others? Like I'm thinking about, I know you write for various clients. So is there one that or do you try to mix it up even for all of your clients?
My clients will basically tell me what they want,
Yeah.
and they give me a guideline on what type of information they want to see in the post. So there has only been, I think, one time I did all the content for a kitchen site, and that it was very challenging, but it was very rewarding because of all the research that I had to do, and I basically could write anything I wanted because it was a blank slate. So that's one of the few times I got to do everything on my own by writing all the content for this kitchen website. So homepage and all the product pages and that sort of thing. So I really enjoyed that. But in general, my clients, they give me a guideline of what they want to see on the page.
And so based on the guideline, you decide which one of these styles that you're going to use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes, like Jay was saying, I will add additional information in there because what I try to do is, as a copywriter, I like to try to find some hook, something different, something unique about the product that isn't going to sound like all the other product reviews or whatever that you've read about. So I do try to find some little angle that I can put in there. So I'll add bulleted lists. I'll have I'll have pros and cons and additional information. I'll try to find as much as I can.
Okay. Yeah. I asked that question because as I was promoting today's session, I said that you would share what the kinds of things that you do for your clients. So I wanted to make sure that we covered what I advertised.
Thank you very much.
So Jay, did you want the conch?
Yes, please.
Okay, go for it.
So does anyone know why we do informational posts?
Because people search for information.
Yeah, but people don't buy through informational posts, right?
No.
So go ahead, Alanna.
Well, I mean, I think that's where everything starts, is with the informational post, because I think what you might be going toward is the customer buying cycle and where they start from. So it would start with information. And if it's a product they've never heard of before, they heard about it on a bus or a train or whatever, someone in a conversation, and they think, oh, I want to know more. That's where the informational post comes from. That's where they start.
Dave?
It's building trust with your visitors. You're building trust that you know what you're talking about, and when you start recommending stuff, that they're going to take your recommendations instead of just out of the clear blue sky, someone starts saying they know everything about air fryers and there's no proof on it.
Yeah. All great answers, all correct answers.
Well, the other one that I would think of is if I'm out and about and talking with a friend and we're talking about something, I love to be able to open my phone, speak into it about something. And that's the time when I want information, when I'm out and about and looking at my phone and thinking about something. And I'm certainly not interested in a buying thing from that perspective.
Yeah. So builds trust, builds authority, answers questions, but we don't make money from informational posts. So because there's no commercial intent, right? So informational posts don't have any commercial intent, but there is a benefit to writing these informational posts, and that is backlinks. So when you create informational posts that have zero commercial intent and it's all educational intent, that makes that particular piece of content link worthy, meaning that external websites, other websites will link to that particular post because they know it's a great reference to something. Because what do we have to do as bloggers? One internal link and one external link. So because we do that, other people are doing that as well. So we want to provide content that other people will link to. And when other people and other websites link to you through the means of informational posts, that creates value of that particular post, that creates some Google link juice, and that helps your SEO go up, and ultimately that raises your backlink profile. And at the end of the day, then when you write commercial intent posts, you take a link from that informational post that you wrote, and you link to your commercial intent post, thus passing along that page juice and helping things get ranked. So the more Google juice you have, so more backlinks you have from other sources, like legitimate ones that are linked with words inside the article, there's value there, right? There's immense value there. So and those are naturally occurring backlinks, and again, there's value there. So it just helps. It raises your SEO. And then when you write a commercial intent post, buying guides, listicles, reviews, whatever, boom, then you have, they'll rank. So yeah, so keep that in mind when you're writing informational posts, is that even though it seems like there's no commercial intent, there kind of is, and it's like you're dangling a carrot to have people link to you. So there is an ulterior motive.
Well, I love that idea, though, that if you've got an informational and you're doing something else, it's now an internal link. I mean, because that's always one of the most important things to do, isn't it? Yeah. Fred, I think I saw you waving.
Yes, I was going to ask Alanna. She says often the clients tell her what they want. Are there not times when, with your 10 years of experience, you could say, I have a better idea, and you can sort of consult with them and make suggestions on how you could do it better? Because I think that value there could improve your relationship with your clients. So in other words,
I think it depends on the client and the type of relationship that I have. Like if it's a new client, I will do what they ask me to do. If I've written for them for a while, I may make suggestions on how I can improve it by making, advising them on certain things I could add to the piece. And I mean, there's been times when I've said, look, if it's okay with you, I'd like creative license here to write what I want to write. And depending on the client, some will say yes, some will say no. My recent client said, yes, go ahead, it's yours. So that worked out well.
Well, not all clients will have tons of ideas, so they'll be happy to hear your ideas, I'm certain.
Well, that's one of the things about writing, is that a lot of times people don't really know what they want. They think they know what they want, but they don't. And they're not really into the nuances of things like how to structure a post and keywords and that sort of thing. And one thing I've noticed recently that I've been reading is blog styles are changing. And I don't know, Jay, if you have noticed this or not, but blog styles, like the first paragraph, it's something that I've noticed recently, where the first paragraph of a post that's supposed to entice your reader and get them to read more and read the next line and the next line. So there's normally a little story involved there to connect with your visitor. But recent posts I have looked at, they jump straight in and say, this is a post about blah, blah, blah. You're going to learn this, 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 and this. It's very in your face. This is the information you're looking for. And it starts typing, they start saying, they'll say a question, then they'll answer the question right away. And so I'm noticing that more and more. I don't know if you've come across that. I had an example on my screen and I unfortunately cannot find it. I've had it pulled up, but I can't find it. But if I find it, I'll bring it up to you.
Yeah, because if you're doing a story as you know, to generate interest, it sometimes will be harder to incorporate keywords into a story, whereas it's easier to incorporate keywords into a clear thing. This is what this is about. This is what you're going to get. It
Yeah.
sounds
Well,
like it would be easier to do.
It depends. Like if it's a product, let's say, if you're talking about a product, and say, for instance, the product is teddy bears, I would try to connect with a mom who is buying a teddy bear for her child who lost a teddy bear, it got ripped or torn or stolen or whatever. And I would develop a story around that and then the teddy bear would be the key word, or the type of teddy bear would be the key word. And that's how I would weave that into the first paragraph. But I'm finding that people aren't doing that now. They're just kind of jumping in and saying,
Boom,
this
boom,
is a
boom,
story
boom.
about whatever. Dave's got his hand up. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Dave.
Well, I think it's more they're trying to please the taskmaster of Google search engine, and
Yeah.
that they want to get the snippet at the very top of the search engine so that they don't have to rank number one. If they can get the snippet, then they get like 20% of the visitors.
Yeah.
So they're taking, instead of doing what's best for their readers, they're doing what's best for the search
Google.
engine.
Yeah.
But I did read a recent article from Google itself, which said, put your most unique content above the fold. Unique content.
That's interesting. Above the fold.
Yeah.
So that's looking after the person that just scans. Yeah. It's tricky, isn't it? Because there are so many different styles of people. People that love reading long details and blah, blah, blah. And others are just, as Alanna said, I just want to go in there. I do a lot of scanning. I stay there until while I find exactly what I want, and then I'm gone. So it becomes tricky to write so that you appeal to all of the styles of people.
I guess it does depend on, I mean, from what I heard, if you put a story or a unique content in the beginning and then you carry on, in my opinion, that blog tends to become, it leans towards your pillar article. It has longevity. It can last longer. Whereas if you jump in and start, this is what I'm going to talk about. You can expect these, and then it's good. It tends to be a short one, and maybe even the one which is relevant only for a few days. After that, it may not be relevant at all.
Well, I mean, the first paragraph, if I can jump in there, the first paragraph,
like for example, if someone says, this is how to fix the recent Windows, the problems created by the recent Windows updates, then that article will not be relevant if the Windows then comes back, Microsoft then comes back and fixes the issue. This article is no longer relevant because its problem is gone. So it no longer becomes the pillar post. It becomes just for today it's relevant. Okay, read it, fix it if you want, if it works. Yeah, so that's what I feel. What do you think?
Well, I think pillar posts are, they're designed to be evergreen, but the issue you're addressing is, a Windows, something specific about Windows 10 or whatever that can or can't be fixed. And a pillar post would be a little more vague, I think, than that. They would be more general in nature and provide an overall piece of information that has a lot of different pieces to it. That's the way I envision pillar posts.
I think the pillar post will have a story at the beginning, like what you were saying. It will have a story at the beginning, and then
if you've read, like, from all the reviews or any of the blog posts that you've read, a lot of them do kind of start with some sort of a story. The story is designed to create an image in your mind, because once you have an image in your mind, you're connecting. So that's what that first paragraph is designed to do. It's designed to connect with your visitor, your audience. And as soon as they make that connection through imagery, then they're moving on. They want to know more because they've already made the connection.
Interesting. Why, the more we talk about this, the more it becomes obvious that content writing ain't as easy as it might seem.
See, that's why I'm fascinated with it. That's why I love it so much. It's because it's a different animal every day.
Absolutely. Wow.
And no AI bot can handle that, Alanna.
Well, I would hope so. I would hope you're right.
Yes, just so you don't feel nervous about last week's session.
Right.
So I'm looking at the time. We have 10, we're 10-2. Any other comments or questions? If not, I would invite Fred to do the last word. I always like picking on Fred on the way out.
I enjoy it anyway. Thanks very much. I hope my internet. This is all about communication. This comes back to any type of communication, from my opinion. Stories is something that we remember, so that can be appropriate, but it depends on your audience and it depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're giving a speech, which is an area that I work in from time to time, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to educate them? Are you trying to entertain them? Are you trying to inform them? Are you trying to inspire them? And inspire means, hey, you want them to buy something, whatever it is. But what is the purpose of that's number one. Why are you doing this blog post? The other thing that comes to mind is because your audience is always different. I mean, you cannot get 100% of your audience to hear the message that you think. They all latch on to something differently. So that's why I think Alanna finds this fascinating, because you think you've done it. Meanwhile, people hear and see different things. You have a message, whatever it is, but not everybody gets it because they all come from their own perspective. They all have their own lens. They all have their own experiences. So it's not the same as you. So they're not going to hear and see the same thing in your presentation. I find that fascinating as well. You can go around a table and say, what did you get out of what I just said? And you'll hear somebody say, oh, I like that. And others said, I didn't like it. And you say, but why? So that's important to realize. You cannot satisfy everyone. And the other thing that Alanna said that's very hit me is people do not read. You're not the only one who has the, I think, the attention span of a gnat. Everyone has that. They scan and say, what is this? Am I interested? And you got to grab them up front. If they don't, they're not going to look. As you probably recall, I was a recruiter, and it's resumes. When somebody sends a resume, they don't read them, they scan it. And if it's interesting, they say, okay, I'm interested in this person, I put it in the pile, I'll now maybe read it. But they will not read it, they scan. Same with articles, they scan. So Alanna, that's so important. How is this scannable? What if somebody looks at it quickly in 10 seconds, have they decided one way or the other, I'm going to read it or not? So that's important. It's like a resume. Am I going to read this person's resume or not? You got to grab them in the first 10 seconds. So all of this is relevant to communication, which is the most fascinating topic, I think, in the world. It's always been fascinating to me. How do you get your message across to the audience? And the last point that came to mind is,
Oh, what happened?
I think Fred's transmission let him down.
Last point is lost.
Oh dear. Well, thank you
the
for
search-
we didn't catch your last point, Fred. But
yeah, the internet is acting up again. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
yeah.
But it's really don't write for the search engine, write for the audience, and then
Yes.
optimize it for the search engine after you've written for the audience.
Yeah, that's a really, really important point. So I'm glad you were able to get that in. So thank you again, Alanna, for generating your presentation. I really hadn't thought about all these different styles and the importance of mixing it all up, etc. So I certainly learned a lot. I got lots of food for thought there. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
For that. Okay, so we are going to close right now or I'm going to close with the reminder that it's important to do what you love with passion, and to let you know that next week Vivek is going to talk about his whole experience with the yoga week. It is this week, isn't it? Yeah. So he's going to talk about that next time. So we get to hear about his experience. He's quite heavily involved and hosting webinars, etc. So we'll hear about that.
Will we need to limber up before attending, or like, gonna warm up, or
Just come on with an empty stomach. So, all right. So we shall see.
Father's Day donuts.
Right. All right. So we shall see you all next week, and I will do my outro right now, which is Alt 4.